Hello everyone, welcome back to the Reclaim.ai YouTube channel where we talk all things productivity tips, calendar hacks, and product updates from the Reclaim team. In today's video, we're talking about team meetings, which have gotten a lot of flack over the last few years, where employees felt like they were spending way too much time in meetings, which was definitely the case, especially towards the beginning of the pandemic in 2020, when so many teams went hybrid or fully remote. We saw a huge spike in meetings, which in many cases people felt weren't being used productively or just left them with not enough time to do everything else that they needed to get done during the week. This year, 2024, we released our newest meeting trends report, where we actually found that meetings are down 31.2% from 2021, and employees are averaging 14.8 hours in meetings every week. It's still a significant amount, almost 2 full working days, adding up to 37% of employee time being spent in meetings. Now, especially in the case of team meetings, there's often a narrative that the time is wasted, that it's not effectively used for decision making, that one person sort of monopolizes the time during the meeting, and that generally there are too many unproductive meetings that is time taken away from employees that have other things to do that might be a higher priority. Apart from pulling people away from independent, productive work, team meetings actually cost companies a lot of money. We broke this down in our meetings trend report to find out what the actual cost of meetings is in 2024. The average annual cost of meetings per employee comes out to $29,129 every single year. And that's just with an average salary. When you consider higher up positions that make even more, that meeting cost can skyrocket. So taking the time to ensure that your team meetings on the calendar are a valuable use of everyone's time is key to not only being more productive and achieving more goals at the company and within your team, but also saving your company a huge cost over the course of the year. So in this video, we're going to take a look at 6 types of team meetings, what team meetings should really aim to accomplish, and a few best practices for scheduling and leading productive team meetings. First of all, what is a team meeting? A team meeting is a scheduled gathering where team members come together to discuss work-related topics, share updates, collaborate on projects, and make important decisions. 89% of employees attend at least one team meeting every week. But depending on your department and role, you might spend a lot more time in team meetings than someone else at your company. Here are the 6 most common meeting types that you might find on the calendar. Number 1 is your basic team meeting or staff meeting. This is your classic meeting or check-in with your primary team, which might include your manager and direct reports, or just your overall team to share updates, get aligned on priorities, make sure everyone is clear on tasks for the week, and generally check on progress towards goals and sharing any updates that the team might need to know. Number 2 is a cross-functional team meeting. Cross-functional team meetings allow 2 or more teams to align on projects or issues that they're dealing with, increase awareness across groups so that there isn't a miscommunication, and when used properly, help both teams make decisions that benefit the whole organization. Number 3 is your kickoff meeting. This is a team meeting that launches a new project or initiative and sets the stage and planning for the project. This kind of meeting can align the project team as well as sometimes a client on goals, timelines, deliverables, and expectations. It's a great opportunity to answer questions and identify any potential issues that might come up later down the road. Number 4 is the executive and leadership team meeting, also known as the HIPPO meeting, highest paid person's opinion. Executive meetings are scheduled across all top leaders at a company to make urgent, very critical decisions for the company that escalate up the chain of command. Executive meetings like this are used to review key metrics, share special presentations, analyze execution issues, or troubleshoot a urgent problem. Number 5 is the skip level meeting. This team meeting is organized to get a department together for a general sort of status check or discussion. This usually includes the entire functional department, a program manager or operations personnel, and occasionally a guest star. These kind of meetings are often used to support team building, increase awareness around company initiatives, again, share updates or special presentations, and discuss strategy or plans for the future. Number 6, the last very common team meeting that you'll see on the calendar is an all-hands meeting. All-hands meetings are definitely the largest meeting out of all of these, and includes most of the time the entire company to share business updates, really big announcements, presentations, foster team building and awareness across the entire organization. It is usually led by senior leaders and followed by a Q&A or sort of town hall situation. So we reviewed the 6 most common types of team meetings that you'll find on the calendar. Now, what is the actual goal supposed to be of a successful team meeting? Like we talked about in the beginning, meetings aren't all bad. Good meetings are really good and bad meetings can be really bad. So what does a good team meeting actually look like? Number 1, they help everyone get on the same page so that everyone is aligned, projects keep momentum towards actual goals, and everyone is clear on how their independent work contributes to the success of the project. It's also about using collective brain power. Meetings allow you to get different viewpoints, brainstorm solutions across different people, and tap into your team's full potential. This means making sure that everyone that is present in the meeting is able to contribute their own perspectives and their own expertise to help move projects forward. Talking it out, actually having clear communication from leadership, as well as opportunities for the team to contribute, help get the most value out of your team meetings. It also gives teams a very valuable human interaction. A lot of times, especially in remote or hybrid teams, you might not get that FaceTime with your team, and getting the team together to collaborate and see each other can be really beneficial to morale and collaboration. And of course, making those big decisions. Team meetings allow everyone to voice their opinions and share contributions so that the company can reach better decisions by seeing different perspectives towards a problem. All right, so how do you actually make team meetings more productive? Let's take a look at 8 best practices for team meetings. Number 1, and this is especially helpful for those recurring meetings, is to ensure that every meeting is about making a decision rather than just getting together to get together. So checking in to see what the meeting is oriented about, what the goal of each meeting is, and ensuring that there's actually a clear purpose and objective for getting everyone together. Tip number 2 is to actually limit attendance. Like we talked about, a lot of these team meetings will pull in a lot of people across departments or across the whole company. And unfortunately, the more people that you have, the less interactive and productive those team meetings can become. It's important to ensure, looking at the invite list, that everyone that's attending the meeting has a very clear part to contribute to the meeting. If they're not essential to the conversation, spare them that time so they can dedicate it towards other priorities. Tip number 3 is to always use an agenda. Again, on that note of having a clear plan for the meeting, agendas allow you to stay on track, stick to the time limits or time constraints of the meeting, and make sure that you are achieving the goals that you set out for the meeting. A great team meeting agenda will always link relevant reports or presentations, documents, or meeting notes with clear communication of what needs to be reviewed before the meeting and what everyone needs to bring to the meeting. Number 4, preparing your part. Again, it's not a great use of everyone's time if everyone comes together and half of the attendees aren't prepared for the meeting. Making sure that that time isn't wasted means coming prepared and doing your part to make sure that the meeting is as productive as it can be. Tip number 5 is sharing status reports before the meeting. It can be helpful to have all the participants share a status report on the progress since the last meeting ahead of the meeting, say in a shared Slack channel. So that's all out of the way so that your meeting can be used to dive right into discussions and stay aligned on strategic decision making. Tip number 6 is to change your recurring team meetings to as needed. It's totally cool to keep it on the calendar to reserve that time, but if the day before the meeting you don't have a very clear objective for the meeting or that time isn't necessary for collaboration or decision making, it is totally okay to cancel it for the week. This gives people a little bit of time back to focus on other priorities and keep projects moving forward that you've discussed in previous team meetings. Even if you have a light agenda, ask yourself if this meeting can be an email. There's really no need to pull everyone together for a meeting that could have been summarized in a quick email. Again, reducing that meeting cost across the company and allowing people to focus their time and energy on the highest priority items on their plate. Tip number 7, another obvious one, is to keep your meetings on time. If you have a scheduled time set for the meeting, don't run over. And extending that time can be very disrespectful towards employees who have organized their day around the event times that were scheduled on the calendar. And the final tip, number 8, is to encourage active participation. Again, by making sure that the people that are attending the meeting really need to be there and can contribute means allowing them the opportunity to share their perspective, help solve problems, and partake in the discussion. Make sure to make it an encouraging place for questions and ideas. And if you are a team leader, making sure that you're not monopolizing the time by just talking at everyone allows you to potentially get great insight from other team members that you might not usually have discussions with regularly. So those are our best practice tips for making sure that your team meetings are productive. And that's the lowdown on team meetings. If you have any questions about team meetings, leave them in the comments and we will answer them, and check out the full blog post in the description below. As always, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more productivity content. And if you made it this far in the video and you have meetings on the calendar for the rest of the week that you've organized, maybe apply some of these tips to check in if they are actually a valuable use of everyone's time and if they are making sure that that meeting is as productive as it can be. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you in our next video. I hope you have a great rest of your week wherever you are.